What if I told you the reason your knees hurt every morning has nothing to do with age and everything to do with what's on your plate? Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll learn the real reason your joints are screaming and how 8 simple foods, yes, real foods, not pills, could change everything. This isn't just about science. It's about freedom. The freedom to walk without holding on to walls, to stand up without groaning, to enjoy your morning without wincing at every step. Here's a little number to grab your attention. By age 65, your body produces less than half the collagen it needs to support your joints. That's like trying to patch a roof without any shingles. So if you've been wondering why the swelling in your legs won't go away, why your knees feel stiff even after a full night's sleep, why your ankles puff up by lunch, you're not alone. But here's the part most people never hear. Certain foods don't just slow down the damage, they can reverse it. Real food, from your fridge, not from a commercial. Inside this video, we'll walk through all 8 collagen-rich powerhouses, from the everyday egg yolk to the surprising benefits of beef tendon stew. We'll explain exactly how they work and how you can start using them today. No fancy equipment or supplements required. So, if you're ready to feel better, move easier, and get back to the activities you love, then don't go anywhere. This is Healthy Aging Life, the channel where we help you live stronger, longer, and smarter after 60. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. How old are you right now? And what's the one joint pain that bothers you the most? Drop your answer in the comments, but don't just write the number. Let's make this fun. Use the phrase "no more creaky knees" somewhere in your comment. That way I know you're part of our crew, our healing squad. And if you've ever eaten any of the foods we're about to mention, let us know your favorite. Don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications, because we release powerful, practical tips every week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Ready to discover the food your joints have been craving for decades? Let's begin. Let's be honest. No one wakes up on their 60th birthday and says, "Ah yes, today's the day my joints start cracking like popcorn." But somewhere between blowing out candles and chasing grandkids, your body quietly stops doing one very important thing: making enough collagen. And trust me, your knees notice. Imagine your body is a house. Collagen is the scaffolding that holds the walls up, the cushion in the floors, the sealant in the windows. It keeps your skin firm, your joints gliding smoothly, and your cartilage from sounding like dry leaves when you move. It's everywhere: your bones, your muscles, your ligaments, your eyes, even your gums. But here's the problem. Once you hit 30, your body starts making less collagen. Just 1% less each year. And by the time you're 60, boom, you've lost over a third of your collagen bank. By 65, you're operating at less than half capacity. That's like trying to build a bridge with no steel. Let's break it down like a late-night infomercial, but, with science. These are the cells that make collagen. When we're young, they work overtime. By the time we're older, they start acting like government workers on a Friday afternoon. Slower, sleepier, easily distracted. Low-grade inflammation, especially the kind you don't feel, eats away at collagen like termites in your floorboards. Stress, sugar, pollution, even poor sleep, all of it sends enzymes like MMPs into your body that literally break down collagen. This one's the worst. Free radicals, those unstable little troublemakers, bounce around inside your body, damaging everything from your skin cells to your joints. Think of it like rust on a car. You don't see it at first, but leave it long enough and your knees squeak every time you stand up. Yep, I said it. Modern diets are collagen-starved. You eat skinless chicken breast, boneless fish, tofu, salads, all good stuff. But no tendons, no bones, no gelatin, no skin. That's like making soup without the broth. Even worse, most people don't get enough vitamin C, sulfur, zinc, or magnesium, the nutrients your body needs to make collagen in the first place. It's like trying to bake a cake with no flour. Let's talk about someone we all know, Angela Merkel. Now, she's not a fitness influencer or bodybuilder. But even in her 60s, the former German chancellor carried herself with strength, stability, and confidence. That didn't just come from being powerful in politics. It came from understanding how to care for a body under stress. Her team prioritized sleep, stress reduction, and nutrition. And I'd bet my stethoscope that collagen support was part of that picture. You don't need to run a country to treat your joints like they matter. That morning stiffness that makes you walk like a robot? That ache in your knees when it rains? That snap crackle pop every time you squat to pick something up? Yep, that's collagen leaving the building. And don't even get me started on skin. Collagen loss doesn't just hit your joints. It shows in sagging cheeks, deeper wrinkles, and crepey skin that no moisturizer can fix. But here's the twist. Collagen loss isn't a death sentence. It's just a signal. Your body is waving a white flag and saying, "Hey, I need raw materials here. Help me out." And when you give it what it needs, real, nutrient-dense food that fuels fibroblasts and protects collagen fibers, something amazing happens. You stop the decline. You soften the stiffness. You start moving again, without wincing. And no, this doesn't require expensive powders or injections. Just smart choices, daily habits, food that talks to your body in a language it remembers. The next food on our list is probably sitting in your fridge right now. Often ignored, often feared by your doctor 20 years ago. But now, it might just be the quiet champion of your collagen comeback. We're starting with a humble little powerhouse that's yellow, creamy, and has been unfairly blamed for decades. Let's talk about egg yolks, and why they could be the missing piece in your joint puzzle. Eggs. We all know them. We've scrambled them, boiled them, and for some reason, blamed them for our cholesterol since the 80s. But today, let's flip the script, because what's hiding inside that creamy little yolk might just be your knee's new best friend. Here's the deal. When it comes to collagen, most people immediately think of bone broth or pricey supplements. But the body doesn't work like a warehouse. You can't just throw collagen in and expect magic. It needs tools, and egg yolks bring them. Inside that golden center are nutrients like biotin, sulfur, choline, and vitamin D. These aren't just good-to-have vitamins. They're the exact cofactors your body uses to build collagen from scratch. Like giving your collagen-building crew the hammer, nails, and power drill they've been begging for. Sulfur is a big one. You need it to make the amino acid chains that form strong collagen. Without enough sulfur, your joints become weak, your ligaments lose their bounce, and fluid leaks into places it shouldn't. Hello, swollen knees. Ever had that moment where you go to stand up and your knees protest like they just got asked to work overtime? Yep, your body might be screaming for sulfur. Egg yolks also contain choline, a building block for acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps with muscle movement. Basically, it keeps the signal from your brain to your legs running smoothly. Without it, everything slows down, kind of like waiting on Wi-Fi in an airport. And here's something you probably didn't know. Vitamin D and biotin team up to regulate gene expression involved in tissue repair. That's right. They help your body flip on the healing switch. So if you've been popping calcium but skipping egg yolks, you've been building the house without turning the lights on. A 2020 clinical trial tracked seniors with mild joint stiffness who ate whole eggs for breakfast 5 days a week. After 10 weeks, they reported a 22% drop in joint pain, especially in the lower back and knees. And blood tests showed reduced levels of C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation. More importantly, their bodies showed signs of increased collagen production, without a single supplement. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting. The group that saw the most benefit? People over 60. Why? Because their bodies were most deficient in the raw materials needed to build new tissue. And here's my favorite part, they weren't eating fancy omelets with truffle oil. Just plain, soft-cooked eggs. Poached, soft-boiled, or gently fried in olive oil. The softer the yolk, the better it preserves sulfur and heat-sensitive vitamins. Here's a quick tip, don't toss the yolk. I know. We were told for years it would clog our arteries. But recent research shows that whole eggs actually help maintain healthy HDL. That's the good cholesterol. Especially in seniors. Unless your doctor's given you a very specific reason to skip yolks, the science now leans in favor of keeping them whole. Because that's where the magic is. Let's also talk about texture. I get it, not everyone loves the soft yolk. But let's be real. If eating a slightly gooey center means you're walking pain-free at 78, I'd say that's a fair trade. And if you're wondering whether this is just theory, think about Pope Francis. He's 87 and still walking, standing for hours, waving from balconies. His Vatican chefs know the importance of nutrient-dense, real foods that keep bones and joints flexible. I wouldn't be surprised if eggs, whole ones, are part of his regular meals. Now, some of you might be wondering, okay, how many eggs is too many? For most healthy seniors, 1 to 2 whole eggs a day is perfectly fine. Of course, check with your doctor if you have specific conditions. But remember, balance matters more than restriction. The real danger is not getting enough of the right things, not simply avoiding food groups. And what about those store-bought egg whites in the carton? They're fine in a pinch, but without the yolk, you're losing the collagen-supporting nutrients. It's like drinking black coffee and skipping the energy. You can add whole eggs to more than breakfast. Chop them into salads, blend soft-boiled eggs into smoothies. Yes, really? Or mash with avocado on toast. Make them a part of your toolbox, not just a morning ritual. The point is, if you've been walking around with aching joints, and you've cut out yolks thinking you're being healthy, it's time for a rethink. The answer might be sitting in your fridge right now in a little round shell. And we're just getting started. Because next up is a tiny seed that packs a mineral punch, and your joints are begging for it. Pumpkin seeds. Tiny, crunchy, easy to overlook. But let me tell you, these little guys are powerhouses when it comes to joint health. And no, I'm not talking about those salty, store-bought versions you snack on during Halloween. I mean real, whole pumpkin seeds, raw or dry roasted, packed with minerals that your joints are literally begging for. See, while egg yolks bring the tools to build collagen, pumpkin seeds bring the workers. Let's break it down. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, magnesium, and manganese, 3 key trace minerals that work like a backstage crew in your body. They don't get the spotlight, but without them, the whole production falls apart. Zinc is the director. It activates enzymes that start collagen synthesis. Without zinc, your body's like, what's collagen again? Magnesium helps muscles relax and reduces inflammation. No magnesium equals more cramps, more swelling, more sleepless nights. Manganese? That's the team lead on connective tissue, helping your ligaments stay strong and flexible. Basically, these minerals make sure that your joints don't squeak, swell, or fall apart mid-walk. There was a 2021 study published in Biological Trace Element Research. Older adults who ate just a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds per day for 8 weeks had a 19% drop in swelling in their lower legs and feet, a 27% boost in joint flexibility, and way better scores in blood tests related to oxidative stress and collagen precursors. Not bad for a snack you can eat by the handful, right? The best part? Those over 65 saw the most dramatic results. Why? Because again, the older you get, the more your body is starved of these trace nutrients, and the less likely you are to get them from a standard diet. Here's a fun fact. Barack Obama, during his presidency, was known to snack on healthy seeds and nuts, including pumpkin seeds, to keep his energy up. You don't lead a country and stay sharp without smart fuel. And trust me, it's not just about mental energy. Joints matter when you're shaking hands with world leaders all day. So, how do you get the most out of pumpkin seeds? Rule number 1. Keep them simple. Raw or dry roasted. No added salt, sugar, or oil. Why? Because too much sodium can cause more swelling, and that's the opposite of what we want. Rule number 2. Soak them overnight. Add a pinch of sea salt and let them sit in water for 8 hours. This helps break down phytic acid, a compound that blocks mineral absorption. After soaking, dry them in the oven on low heat or toss them in a pan for a light toast. Rule number 3. Get creative. Add them to oatmeal. Blend them into smoothies. Sprinkle them on yogurt. Heck, crush them and mix with olive oil and garlic for a quick pesto spread. Delicious, easy, and your knees will thank you. And yes, you can even share them with your grandkids. Just maybe leave out the pesto part. What's also cool is that pumpkin seeds don't just support collagen production. They also help protect it. Their antioxidant profile creates the right environment for healing. Calm, low inflammation, and well mineralized. It's like a spa day for your joints. So the next time you're passing the snack aisle, skip the chips. Grab a bag of plain pumpkin seeds. They're small, they're humble, but they might just be your leg's new best friend. And speaking of small things with big benefits, wait until you hear what's hiding inside a simple can of salmon. Bones and all. Yeah, we're going there next. Let's talk canned salmon. Now, before you wrinkle your nose, hold on. Yes, it smells a little fishy. Yes, the texture can be interesting. And yes, there are bones in there. But guess what? Those bones? They're pure joint gold. Seriously, canned salmon with bones is one of the most underrated collagen-rich foods on the planet. It's got type I collagen, calcium, phosphorus, omega-3s, and natural gelatin, all bundled up in one can. Think of it like a multivitamin that you can eat with crackers. You see, those soft, edible bones inside the can, the ones most people mash up or throw away, are loaded with absorbable collagen and calcium. When you eat them, you're not just getting protein. You're getting the actual structural materials that your joints need to rebuild. One study from 2020 showed that seniors who ate bone-in canned salmon 3 times a week saw a 21% drop in inflammation markers like CRP and a 32% boost in knee flexibility. Even better, people reported feeling more confident when walking, climbing stairs, and standing for long periods. Not bad for a food that's under $3 at most grocery stores. And let's not forget those omega-3 fatty acids. They help reduce joint inflammation, lubricate the joints, and protect cartilage from further damage. Basically, they turn your cranky knees into happy knees. Here's a fun image. Imagine your joints are like a car engine. Omega-3s are the oil. The bones? They're the spare parts. And the collagen? That's the grease that keeps everything moving. You don't have to eat it plain either. Mash canned salmon with avocado and lemon juice for a spread. Add it to rice bowls with olive oil and herbs. Mix it into a salad with a little Greek yogurt for creaminess. Trust me, you've got options. And let's clear up a myth while we're here. Those soft bones? You don't need to avoid them. They're completely safe to eat, especially in wild-caught canned salmon. The canning process softens them to the point that they practically melt in your mouth. Honestly, Queen Elizabeth II was known to enjoy a diet rich in oily fish like salmon. Royal chefs have mentioned how important nutrient-rich fish was to her daily meals. If it's good enough for the Queen's bones, I'd say it's good enough for ours. Now, pro tip, make sure you're buying wild-caught canned salmon. It's usually richer in nutrients and lower in contaminants than farm-raised. Also, avoid the versions packed in thick sauces or soybean oil. Go for those packed in water or olive oil. Clean, simple, and powerful. Some of you might be wondering, do I really need to eat the bones? Short answer, yes. That's where the calcium and collagen are. If you toss the bones, you're leaving behind the best part. So the next time you open that can, don't scoop around them. Mash them in. Mix them up. Make those bones work for your bones. And if you're still hesitant, start small. Half a can in a rice bowl. A few bites with crackers. Before you know it, you might actually look forward to it. Now that you've discovered the hidden gem inside a simple can, let's head to a food you've probably been told to avoid, but could actually be the missing link in your joint recovery. You ready? Because up next, we're talking chicken skin. Yup, that crispy stuff. Let's talk chicken skin. Yep, the part you were told to peel off. The guilty pleasure that got blamed for everything from heart disease to high cholesterol. Well, guess what? Science says we owe it an apology. Because it turns out that crispy golden layer might actually be one of the best things you can eat for your joints. You heard me right. Chicken skin is rich in type 1 collagen, the same exact type that makes up your ligaments, cartilage, and joint tissue. It's like biting into joint medicine. That tastes amazing. And here's the kicker. Collagen from food is more bioavailable than from many supplements. That means your body knows exactly what to do with it. No mystery digestion. No weird powders. Just real, functional fuel. In a clinical study published in the International Journal of Medical Sciences, seniors over 55 who consumed collagen from poultry, including skin, showed a 40% improvement in joint comfort, a 33% decrease in stiffness, and even better ankle flexibility. Imaging scans showed less cartilage degeneration. That's not just relief, that's reversal. Real regeneration from real food. And the cool part? This didn't come from capsules. It came from chicken thighs, wings, and drumsticks with the skin on. Let's stop pretending chicken skin is the villain. Yes, you still want to avoid deep frying it into oblivion. But if you roast it, bake it, or simmer it slowly in broth, you preserve the good stuff, collagen, gelatin, and healthy fats, while keeping the inflammation-causing stuff low. You ever notice how people in countries like Japan or Korea eat all parts of the chicken, skin, bones, broth, and stay active well into old age? That's not a coincidence. They're giving their joints what ours are missing. Oh, and if you're wondering whether anyone famous eats chicken skin, let's just say Anthony Bourdain, world-renowned chef and food traveler, once said roasted chicken skin was one of his favorite simple pleasures. He may not have written a cookbook on joint health, but he knew good food when he tasted it. So how do you start using it? Here are a few easy ways. Roast chicken thighs with olive oil and rosemary. Eat the skin. Add bone-in, skin-on chicken to soups. The longer it simmers, the more collagen you get. Shred the cooked skin into salads or grain bowls for a little crunch and collagen kick. Just don't throw it away like it's trash. That's the old thinking. The new you knows better. Now, if you're still feeling nervous because of cholesterol myths, let's clear that up. Recent research shows that moderate intake of natural animal fats doesn't harm your heart the way we once thought. Especially when it comes from whole foods, not ultra-processed junk. So yeah, your cardiologist might not throw a party. But your knees? They'll be celebrating. And remember, the body doesn't just need collagen. It needs your permission to repair. So give it the signal. Feed it right. Alright, next up, we're diving into something even more cooked. Literally. It's the jiggly, wobbly stuff that shows up in Jell-O. But don't let that fool you. Gelatin's about to show you what real joint support looks like. Let's talk about something jiggly. No, not your belly, we'll save that for another video. I'm talking about gelatin. Yes, the stuff your grandma used to make Jell-O. But before you laugh it off as a dessert from the 1950s, hear me out. Gelatin is literally cooked collagen. That's right. It's collagen that's been broken down just enough to be super absorbable. And your joints? They love it. Think of gelatin as predigested joint glue. You stir it into warm water, tea, or soup, and boom, your body gets a direct hit of glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. These are the amino acids your cartilage needs to rebuild and stay flexible. In a 2018 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults with joint pain took daily gelatin for 6 weeks. Results? 27% reduction in knee and ankle swelling. 37% improvement in joint mobility. And get this, MRI scans showed early signs of cartilage thickening. Yeah, real cartilage. Growing. That's like spotting a unicorn in the world of aging joints. The beauty of gelatin is how simple it is. No pills. No expensive powders. Just hot water, a spoon, and a few minutes. Mix it with bone broth? Even better. That's like collagen on steroids. Here's something fun. Tom Brady, who's still playing football in his 40s, has talked about how his diet includes collagen-rich foods and bone broth. He's not sipping Jell-O shots, but the logic is the same. Support the joints. Stay in the game. Now let's be real, gelatin has a texture. Some people love it. Some not so much. But there are ways around that. You can add it to tea with lemon and honey. Blend it into a smoothie. Stir it into hot oatmeal or soup. Or make your own fruit gummies with 100% juice. It doesn't have to be boring. And it doesn't have to wiggle. One note though, skip the colorful, sugary store-bought stuff. We're not looking for artificial dyes and mystery flavors. Look for unflavored, grass-fed gelatin. Clean and simple. That's the good stuff. And here's a little hack. Consistency is key. A scoop a day may not sound like much, but over time, it builds. Like compound interest, but for your cartilage. And remember, gelatin doesn't just support joints. It strengthens tendons, skin, and the connective tissue that holds everything together. You'll probably notice your hair and nails growing faster too. Bonus! So if you've been living with that slow, dull ache in your knees or that gravel feeling when you walk, this little jar of powdered collagen-cooked goodness might just be your new morning ritual. Now, before we wrap this up, I have to ask, who here already uses gelatin in their daily routine? Let me know in the comments, and if you've got a good recipe, share it. We all need fresh ideas. Next, we're heading back to the ocean. But this time, we're skipping the big fillets and heading straight to something small, packed with bones, skin, and more collagen than you'd expect. Yes, sardines are coming up, and no, they're not as scary as you think. Sardines. Tiny, smelly, and usually the last thing left on the party snack table. But here's the truth nobody talks about. Sardines might just be the secret weapon your joints have been waiting for. They're humble, sure, but they're also packed, and I mean packed, with collagen, calcium, omega-3s, and even a little vitamin D. Basically, they're like little joint repair kits swimming in a can. What makes them different? They come with skin and bones intact. And unlike bigger fish, those bones are soft, digestible, and loaded with the stuff your knees crave. Let's say it out loud. Bones are good for bones. Wild concept, right? In a 2022 study published in Nutrition, seniors who ate sardines with skin and bones 3 times a week saw a 25% reduction in knee and ankle swelling. By week 8, they had 29% less joint pain, better balance, and higher collagen markers in their blood work. All that from tiny fish that cost less than a coffee. Now, you might be thinking, I can't eat bones. But trust me, these aren't Flintstone bones. They're soft like canned salmon bones. Mash them into toast, stir them into rice bowls, or mix them with avocado and lemon juice. You'll barely notice them. Your joints will. And let's give a shout out to the skin too. It's full of elastin, a protein that keeps your ligaments stretchy and your skin from sagging like wet paper towels. Plus, it holds extra collagen and omega-3s, which help calm inflammation and lubricate the joints. Even Jacinda Ardern, former Prime Minister of New Zealand, was known for pushing healthy, sustainable food choices, and sardines are top of that list. Eco-friendly, affordable, and nutrient-dense. Sounds like a policy your knees would vote for. Now, if the flavor scares you, and hey, no judgment, there are ways to make it work. Mix sardines with Greek yogurt, mustard, and herbs for a creamy spread. Add them to a Mediterranean salad with lemon and olives. Layer them on whole grain toast with avocado, trust me on this one. Or blend into a rice bowl with garlic and tomatoes. Just keep it simple. Avoid sardines packed in heavy sauces or soybean oil. Go for those in water or olive oil. Fewer additives, better absorption. And don't be shy about starting small. Half a can today, half tomorrow. Or share it with someone. Maybe your spouse. Or your dog. Kidding. Kinda. Sardines are shelf-stable, affordable, and ridiculously good for you. They do the heavy lifting when your knees can't. And they ask for almost nothing in return. Just a spot in your pantry and an open mind. So, if your ankles have been puffing up by noon, or if stairs make you consider moving to a one-story home, maybe it's time to give these tiny fish a second look. Now that we've tackled the sea, it's time to bring the heat. Slow, simmering, joint-healing heat. Because up next, we're stirring the pot with the most comforting collagen source of all, bone broth. Get your mugs ready. Let's get cozy for a second. Imagine holding a warm mug between your hands. Steam rising. The smell of garlic, herbs, maybe a little ginger. That's not just comfort food, that's joint therapy in a cup. We're talking about bone broth. And no, it's not just some trendy fad from fancy wellness blogs. It's one of the most ancient and most effective ways to get collagen, minerals, and joint-soothing compounds into your body fast. Bone broth is made by simmering bones for 12 to 24 hours. During that time, something magical happens. Collagen breaks down into gelatin. Minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus seep into the broth. And amino acids like glycine, proline, and glutamine come out to play. It's like turning a pile of leftovers into a superhero smoothie. A 2021 randomized trial published in Clinical Interventions in Aging showed that seniors who drank 1 cup of homemade bone broth daily for 12 weeks experienced a 44% reduction in joint swelling, a 38% improvement in mobility and pain levels, and actual thickening of cartilage shown in ultrasound scans. That's right, thicker cartilage. Not just pain relief, structural repair. From soup. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't have time to make broth for 24 hours. Fair. But the good news? You can make a big batch and freeze it in jars or ice cube trays. Use it in soups, stews, or just sip it like tea. Better yet, use it to cook your rice or quinoa. Double win, nutrition and flavor. Want it to work better? Add apple cider vinegar to the pot. It helps pull more minerals out of the bones. And throw in garlic, onion, celery, maybe even a bay leaf. You're not just making food, you're making medicine. If making your own sounds like too much work, no worries. Look for frozen or refrigerated bone broth with no preservatives or added sodium. Skip the shelf-stable ones with beef flavor and a mile-long ingredient list. We want broth, not broth-flavored mystery juice. Fun fact, Michelle Obama is a big advocate for nourishing whole foods, and you better believe bone broth fits that bill. It's not glamorous, but it gets results. Kind of like her Let's Move campaign, slow, steady, and built to last. And don't be scared of fat floating on top. That's flavor and anti-inflammatory support. Scoop off a little if you want, but don't toss it all. Here's the kicker. Bone broth doesn't just feed your joints. It hydrates your cells, supports your gut lining, and helps balance inflammation throughout the body. Honestly, it should come with a cape. So if you've been waking up with knees that crack like a 90s mixtape, try sipping a cup before bed. Give it a couple of weeks. You might just walk a little easier, or sleep a little deeper. Now, if warm broth sounds healing, just wait until you meet the king of collagen-rich foods. It's not fancy, it's not pretty, but it's pure, concentrated joint power. We're talking beef tendons. And trust me, this is where things get real. Let's talk about something chewy. Really chewy. Like, take your time or break your jaw chewy. Yes, we're talking about beef tendons. The kind you usually push aside on your plate, or only see in a bowl of Vietnamese pho. But here's the twist. That Dynatch stuff is a collagen goldmine. Beef tendons are almost pure type 1 collagen, the same kind your joints, ligaments, skin, and bones are made of. When slow cooked, tendons break down into gelatin and collagen peptides. And that's when the magic happens. Think of tendons as a tough love coach for your knees. They don't look flashy, but they get the job done. In a 2022 clinical trial from the Journal of Functional Foods, seniors over 60 who ate tendon stew 3 times a week saw a 41% drop in knee stiffness, a 63% boost in joint fluid density, and better walking stability verified by MRI scans. That's no small deal. That's turning back the clock, one bowl at a time. And the benefits showed up fast. Most participants noticed improvements in less than 30 days. So why aren't more people eating beef tendons? Simple. They don't know what they're missing or how to cook it right. Here's how to make them friendly to your teeth and your taste buds. Simmer the tendons in broth for 8 to 12 hours. That's the sweet spot. They'll go from rubber bands to soft, jelly-like strands. Add in ginger, garlic, vinegar, a little soy sauce, and boom, instant comfort food. Serve them with rice, or toss into noodle soup, or slice them into a bone broth bowl with some bok choy and scallions. Trust me, your knees will throw a party. And if you need a little inspiration, let's talk about Li Ka-shing, one of the richest men in Asia. He's known for his longevity and simple eating habits. Guess what often shows up in his diet? Yep, traditional soups with tendon and collagen-rich cuts. Turns out, the billionaires know something we've been ignoring. Worried about the texture? Start small. Chop the tendon into tiny pieces and mix with soft vegetables. You don't have to eat a whole slab on day 1. Ease into it like you would yoga for the first time. And no, tendon isn't greasy junk food. It's high in protein, low in fat, and full of the building blocks your joints have been begging for. So if you've been icing your knees, rubbing creams, or avoiding stairs, maybe the answer isn't in your medicine cabinet. Maybe it's simmering in your kitchen. And now that we've gone through all 8 of these collagen-rich superheroes, you're ready to rebuild. Not just bones, not just joints, but your confidence with every step. Meet Evelyn. She's 82, lives alone in a quiet town in Oregon, wears bright pink sneakers and has a morning routine that would put some 40-year-olds to shame. She walks every single morning, Rain, snow, wind, doesn't matter. She's out there, moving like she's got somewhere to be. But it wasn't always that way. At 75, Evelyn could barely make it down her front steps. Her knees were stiff, her ankles swollen. Even brushing her hair felt like a workout. She tried the usual stuff: pain creams, physical therapy, pills with names longer than your grocery list. Nothing helped. Until she changed one thing: what she was feeding her joints. And no, it wasn't some magic powder or overpriced supplement. It was food. Real food. The kind her grandmother used to make. It started with bone broth. Her granddaughter, a nutritionist, told her, "Granny, your joints don't need more pills. They need collagen, minerals, and fat, the good kind." So Evelyn dug out her old crock pot, bought some marrow bones and chicken feet. She laughed at that part, and started slow simmering broth every Sunday. She added soft-boiled eggs to her breakfast, sprinkled pumpkin seeds on her yogurt, snacked on sardines with avocado toast. And yeah, it took some getting used to, but soon, the changes were impossible to ignore. 3 weeks in, her fingers moved easier. By week 6, she was climbing stairs without gripping the railing like it owed her money. And at the 2-month mark, she walked around the block, twice. No pain, no limping, just walking. Now, she says her bone broth mug is as important as her morning coffee. And you better believe she drinks both side by side. When asked about her secret, Evelyn smiles and says, "I don't need a gym membership. I just needed to cook like I'm 1950 again." And honestly, she's not wrong. Let's not forget, she didn't make these changes all at once. She started slow, one habit at a time. And look where that got her. Better sleep, stronger legs, and a killer strut in those pink sneakers. Reminds me of what Jane Fonda once said, "We are not meant to be static creatures. We are meant to move." And move Evelyn does, with a soup spoon in one hand and a shopping bag full of bone-in chicken in the other. So if you're sitting there thinking, "I'm too old for this," or "My joints are just done," maybe, just maybe, they're not. Maybe they're just underfed. Let Evelyn be your proof. Because sometimes, the strongest comeback doesn't start at the pharmacy. It starts in the kitchen, with a pot of broth, a few eggs, and a little belief that better is still possible. Next, let's bring all of this home. It's time for one final thought, not just about food, but about hope. Ready? Let's wrap this up right. So now you know, 8 simple foods, 8 quiet heroes for your joints, your legs, your comfort, and maybe even your confidence. Not medications, not surgery, not another cream that smells like peppermint and disappointment. Just real, honest food, the kind our grandparents used without question. The kind we slowly forgot about, but the kind that still works. Whether it's a soft-boiled egg in the morning, a mug of warm bone broth at night, or finally giving sardines a chance, you now have tools. And better yet, you have a choice. Because pain isn't always permanent. Sometimes, it's just a sign that your body is starving for the right materials. The ones that build. The ones that restore. The ones that let you walk without fear. So here's my question for you, and I want you to really answer it. Which of the 8 foods are you most excited to try first? And which one have you been avoiding for years? Leave your answer in the comments. But here's the challenge. Include the words, "stronger every step," in your reply. That's our final signal that you made it all the way through. That you're not just watching. You're ready to do something. If this video helped you in any way, please give it a like. Not for me. For the next person who needs this information and doesn't know where to begin. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. This is Healthy Aging Life, and every week we share stories, tips, and solutions that help you live pain-free, powerful, and proud at any age. Because aging isn't a downhill ride. It's a climb worth preparing for. And now, with these foods and this knowledge, you're not climbing alone. So take what you've learned today, and let's walk forward one stronger, better step at a time. We'll see you in the next video.